Illinois and Iowa State, 3 seed to 2 seed. Here's your chalky matchup in the Sweet 16. If you like the Alabama UNC offense defense matchup, this is the one for you. Illinois, the number one offense in the country per KenPom. Iowa State, the number one defense in the country. Both these teams are 2-0 against the spread so far, have really looked awesome and not really threatened so far in their runs. Kai, what are you looking at with this game? It is the closest spread we've had so far in our little breakdown. Iowa State laying 1.5 per bet MGM, a total of 145.5.
Yeah, clearly the battle of rock and hard place, whatever you want to call it, unstoppable force, immovable object, number one offense versus number one defense. Illinois number one offense really snuck up on me, actually. Recently overtook, I believe it was UConn for the number one spot in KenPom. Yeah, Terrence Shannon, man, I don't know how you stop him. Just going downhill in transition, he's impossible to stop. Even Iowa State, I think, might have trouble with him. However, the lack of a true point guard for Illinois, I think, is what kind of bites them in this matchup. Iowa State, they force a lot of turnovers. They really hound the ball handler. And while Domask and Shannon have done a nice job kind of taking on the de facto point guard roles, I think not having a true point out there is going to be a problem. I do think Illinois' defense isn't quite as harmed in this matchup, just given Iowa State's offensive issues at times. Illinois hopefully can lock down just a little bit defensively. They've been really bad down the stretch here. But I do lean towards Illinois, Matt. I'm going with a more dynamic offense here. Iowa State, I just don't fully trust their scoring ability. Despite the great defense, I think Shannon's the difference, and Illinois moves on.
I am too. I did bet Illinois small. I'm with you. As I've been saying, it's more of a Jimmy's and Joe's bet and a bet on the just relentless momentum we've seen from this Illinois version, especially the last couple of weeks with Shannon back in the fold. All the offense is going. Dane Danger reemerging as an awesome thunder to the lightning of Coleman Hawkins, I guess if you want to call it that. In Iowa State, like Jim, I feel like this take is stale, and factually is a stale take. Like the offensive distrust, at some point we probably have to move on from that. It's been a better offense all year. We said before the season, hey, this Otzelberger roster looks a little more balanced this year. Like they got some offensive skill, and we thought that would be a sacrifice to the defense, but lo and behold, they're better defensively as well. So at some point, we need to buy into the Illinois, the Iowa State thing. Those of us who haven't, um, but I go back to 2022, their exit game, first round against, in the Sweet 16, 0.79 points per possession. Last year, when Iowa State got bounced, 0.66 points per possession. So I feel like there's a stink bomb lurking in the future for Iowa State's offense, but maybe I'm just jaded by last season and the year before, which have no bearing on this team, which is a different roster and has more skill and more shot making. So yeah, I've talked myself in circles around this, Jim. I still believe my gut tells me Illinois is the better team.
Yeah, is the stink bomb coming against Illinois' defense? That's the question. Like, is that the one that can actually pull that poor performance out of the Iowa State offense? I'm not sure that's the case. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Illinois momentum. If they hadn't blown that game to Penn State, we'd be talking about like this 11 of 12 complete turbo fire that they've been on. Uh, Playing through Marcus Damask in the paint has been like golden for them. I think they kind of do that again here, that mid post, and Iowa State loves to double that, which leads me to a Marcus Damask assist bet. And I don't know if we've been fully on this, because his last 4 games, 7 assists, 10 assists, 8 assists, 8 assists. Like he is racking them up like a Tyler Kolek type numbers as teams try to converge on him, stop him in those 1v1 matchups. He is finding shooters, and Illinois guys are knocking them down. Or you fan it over to Terrence Shannon, and he's at the rim in one dribble like lightning. So I do like his over assists. I kind of lean Iowa State here, though. I think, like Kai said, they can muck up the ball handling as Illinois just tries to get it over half court. The transition defense is terrific for Iowa State. So getting into their stuff is going to be what's more difficult for Illinois. And then manufacturing points in the half court for Iowa State, that's something they've got to figure out. But Illinois' defense, like, you know exactly what you're getting against it. It's drop coverage, not forced turnovers. They're ranked second in the country behind Creighton, and most mid-rangers surrendered. So you have to think Iowa State's prepared and working on what they know they're going to see here. And I think that's kind of advantage Otzelberger on the prep. So I'm going to go Iowa State there, but player prop wise, the Damask over an assist. Quick question for you both. Which one gives UConn or would it be capable of giving UConn a better game? Kai, I'll go to you first there. Just best version of the team.
Illinois.
Illinois.
Far more talented. Yeah.
Yep, I think it's correct. We saw Iowa State play UConn last year, and okay, you saw it in person out in Portland, and UConn handled 1 by 18. Again, better version of Iowa State, definitely, no question about it. But I still think it's a big gap for them to climb there.